I mean, we're not we trying to hook them up with a moving company. But
You know what I'm
speaking of
saying?
moving,
Speaking of
pe-
moving companies,
people are homeless, so they have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So let's get
so
to DMV news.
in Maryland, new data shows homelessness is on the rise across the DMV. Newly reported data shows that homelessness appears to be on the rise in the DMV. Some municipalities have seen slight increases or decreases. Montgomery County saw a 32% jump.
Mm,
Experts say homelessness decreased during the pandemic because of funding for emergency rental assistance and eviction moratoriums, or because they just pretended like they weren't there and didn't count them. The combination that's
Right.
my head. The
Right.
combination of that plus a high cost of living and wage growth that has not kept pace with inflation are a few key factors that have contributed to homelessness, according to a report from the Washington Council of Governments. The county council and the county executive authorized $3.6 million in emergency funds to help struggling families. Thank you. Christine Hong is the chief of Montgomery County Service to End Homelessness, says there have been reductions in some critical programs that help families get by. The safety net programs like SNAP and emergency utility assistance have decreased. Hong says domestic violence plays a key role in homelessness as well.
Every time these prices change out here, people are fortunate enough to be able to skate by with less than they usually do. And then some people are already up to the very last. And when the prices inflate, that's it.
yeah.
So by the grace of God, go he or I. I mean,
Mm.
that's it's vicious. It's vicious when I mean, you get into conversations with capitalists and people about finance and stuff and they get into the nitty-gritty, but I'm sorry, call me, call me naive, but I think it's unfair that people in the world own islands
Mm,
and then some
Dang.
people can't
I
afford a sandwich. I
She,
Karl
she
Marx.
cooking. She cooking. She cooking.
So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Housing is
That's
the
most of
number
us.
one driver of inflation in the United States. We everybody was talking about, oh well, inflation's up, inflation's up. Well, housing is the number one driver of that. Housing is increasingly becoming unaffordable, especially in big cities. Here in the DC area. Um, by the basic math of things, mostly everybody wants the experts want you to be paying about a third of your income after
Mhm.
taxes for
Jesus
housing.
Christ.
But in many places, people are north of 50% of their income is going to
Mm,
their housing, which means that they don't have money for things like food, medicine, other things.
Transportation,
Yeah, clothes.
daycare,
Right. I
vouchers,
left my
unemployment.
old condo in March and moved into a townhouse. When I saw they my landlord was so greedy that he started showing the house like 2 3 months before we even like were
damn.
moving. Once he found out he was like, oh, I could show it whenever, and he animal set people
Yeah.
in all hours of the night, whatever. I find out
Oh,
that this man had increased what we were paying by $600.
damn.
That's what he was expecting the next person to pay. He had done no renovations. He had done nothing
Dang.
special. There was no, apple juice coming out of the faucets, but he wanted six
I love
hundred dollars
averages.
more.
Yeah,
And
and the market would support it. That's the thing.
but I'm also gonna disclose what he did. He messed up because he sent those people in there to view the house while I was still there.
And
So
you
I
told
told
them.
them that there was a sex offender across the hallway because there
Oh.
was.
As you
Oh.
should. That is
Because there was.
that's
And I
your
told.
Oh.
citizenry duty.
Yes.
Would he ask you to stay
Yes.
after they rejected the offer and shit? They was like, nah, we good.
No, well, they were bringing in these families, and they brought in a black family that looked very much like my family, and they were looking for a new place to live, and
With
they were
children.
looking for a fresh start, and you could tell the realtor was just like, "Oh, this is fabulous." Da, 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 da. And I
With
was like, "Can
children.
I talk?" I was
With
like, "Can I talk to
children.
you in the bathroom for a second?" And they
Oh.
were just like, they were like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I went in there. We all came out hugging and laughing. They were like, let's go to the next place. He was like,
Dang.
what happened? We were like, we're gonna move on. We're moving on.
They had children.
Hey.
Yeah, they had a boy. What really got me was, so I was raised by my mom and my aunt had a son who's my cousin, but he's my brother. We were raised like brother and sister. And it was very much like that dynamic. Like it was a mom and her and the grandmother and like a son. And, he was looking at the room like, oh, this is gonna be my room. Like I just knew like you're trying to cheat these people. And I can't have it. So
Yeah.
you should have showed the house after I moved out with your greedy ass.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. He didn't want that gap month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, $600 above what I was already paying is egregious because I wasn't paying nothing cheap.
That's the thing about us living in a capitalist country. That's what it's all about. Make the most money that you can. Period. Point blank.
Well, and it's not just that it's capitalist, it's that this is a particular part of the economy that's called rent seeking. And it's literally rent seeking, but rent seeking as an economic activity is essentially worthless. So if let's say you're a farmer, right? You're investing money in growing your crops, then you grow the crops, you sell them at hopefully more than what you invested to grow them. And then those crops go on to maybe they become flour for a baker who can then turn them into bread, and then she can sell them to somebody else. And then, there's growth from that. Whereas if you own a building and people are renting space in your building, when they pay that rent money, sure, a little bit of it goes to like the upkeep of the building and buying materials and supplies to do that. But the vast majority of it goes right into a pocket and doesn't go anywhere. And so rent seeking is regarded by economists as economically unvaluable because the money doesn't continue to circulate. The product, the goods, the investment doesn't continue to circulate. It's a dead end. So I'm not saying that there can't be people who invest money and build buildings and get paid back for that and, get compensated for their initial investment and stuff. They should be able to make some money at it, but they maybe don't need to make as much money. And we probably need to change policies in a way where the incentive isn't so much about rent seeking. If there was some sort of rule that said that like you had to reinvest some percentage of the money that you collect in rent, you would either lower your rent to match what your expenses are, or you would invest that money and it would be more beneficial to the economy. But as it currently stands, rent seeking is essentially useless.
Mm.
But it does drive up the price for all the rest of us. So hooray.
Jeez.
I'm
Welcome
over
to
it. Who's
Marketplace
trying to
on Dish Talk,
leave?
by the way.
Who's trying to leave? Does anybody else feel an energy shift? I feel like everybody's waking up. It's not just me. I feel like everybody's just waking up and everybody's over it. And there's a shift and there's energy and portals are
that was during the pandemic.
No, but
It
might have started then, but now at this point, this second time around, I'm tired. Like I'm done. Like I'm not even. I can't even get mad over everything. Like I'm just like kind of checked out.
This is what you can do, Amber. You can just stop paying your rent. You can be homeless. You can
go off the grid.
I feel like
I can go off the grid. I got a killer tent.
Make yourself a YouTube, but I feel like these new homeless people, they're younger and they dress flyer. Like with the homeless people that you're seeing, cool.
You mean you mean that like living a van, like that van life?
Yeah, no. They in front of 7-Eleven.
In front of my house.
Not 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is Nanny Helen Burroughs.
Directly in front of my house.
Young homeless people in front of there.
I'm pointing at the angle in which the car they lived at. Right outside my house. Yeah, I don't think that in 2025 in the US of A, unless it's by choice, there shouldn't be people like out in the street sleeping, man. It's just it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, each of those bombs that got dropped costs about $50 million. So
that's all I'm saying.
I suppose
the Department of Defense, they lose money. They lose like billions of dollars every fiscal year, don't they?
Like it's nothing. Well, think about the aid, just the aid that we give to Ukraine, the aid we're giving to Israel, the aid we're giving to everybody.
They just embezzling money. They didn't getting people no money.
I mean, I get it. I I get some folks just don't mind living outside. I get that, and they they go for their resources. They get theirs however they get it. But the ones that have no choice, man, it's like the resources given to them now. Like Mike said, these bombs are worth 5 million a missile. Come on,
50.
man. Can we get a cent of that? Can we?
I would-
I want to be the
That's
country
how
that
you
be
know
like, we
nobody
ain't got
cares.
homelessness.
That's how you know nobody cares.
Bingo.
They don't care.
It's not about us. It's
Well,
never
and
been about
there's
us.
plenty of, you know, ways that you could talk about that investment in people, whether it's housing or food assistance or education, is more beneficial economically for a society than collecting that money and concentrating it in the hands of billionaires. But you see the current administration is cutting SNAP, they're cutting education, they're cutting housing assistance, they're cutting all of these things. If you give somebody who needs a housing voucher that voucher, right? That's not just going to keep a roof over their head. That's also allowing them to then go to work and participate in the economy and make, other things
Yeah.
go. It's
So
also means,
what does make sense? Would it make sense that they're trying to do a reduction in society?
well, I don't know that they're necessarily trying to kill people, but they are trying to
Well,
harm them and
they
make
haven't.
things
There's several
miserable.
people who have admitted that on camera about population control in the world. But what I would say is on this topic, then we go to the next story. As easy as it is to cut programs and implement so many rules and regulations that lead to these different economical differences and inequitable lifestyles, the same way that they can implement limitations into how much things can cost, how much stuff can cost. Like the same way you could take away stuff is the same way that you could put a limit on stuff. You can put a limit and say, guess what? This can't, this
like rental caps.
carton
Yeah.
of milk,
Cap it.
the milk, like in your groceries, and how much you're gonna pay for seeds, how much you're gonna pay for, all of on a production level, so that when it trickles down, we're not talking about how we have to cover the expenses of the production, but that in the beginning place, that seed shouldn't be able to, especially these GMO seeds that everybody's using anyway, you shouldn't be able to keep rising the price of seeds. So then, therefore, farmers have to keep on charging more when it's time for them to sell to the grocery stores and so on and so on, and do that in every sector. They don't have any problem putting regulations on banking, campaign contributions, how much money you can make to live in this building or that building to meet this, income minimal eligibility, anything. They have no problem when it's fitting a particular agenda or a particular group of people. That's why I say it's obvious that our government and our society does not care about itself as a whole, as actual people, only as the corporation, the United States of America.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
So the DC Attorney General Brian
Wait, hold on. I
Schwab.
gotta add something. Last words. So I heard some ICE. They're moving some homeless people off the street, and then they're sending them to different countries, like Libya or
We're
some
What?
just
shit like
getting
that.
homeless people.
Venezuela.
We're
But
getting
but
perfectly well-employed people who are, just doing their jobs. And
on the local level, it's only going to get worse, like the homeless problem. And it feels like I don't know why it's in Montgomery County that the rise there's like 30 something percent. And
have you tried to buy a house or rent an apartment in Moco? It is,
Moco, more money.
yeah, exactly. It is prohibitively expensive. That's why it's turning.
And sometimes I wonder, are groups of do homeless like populations kind of migrate within this kind of area? Because I feel like I don't see as many homeless people in DC, and I know they didn't disappear. I think it's more likely that they have migrated to other areas. So
What happened to
would
Tent
that be
City?
the cause of the rise? When they tear down all the tent cities, and every time there's some special occasion in
They in
Mayor
Cuba,
Bowser
baby.
finds
They in
places to
Cuba.
hide them.
Yeah, every once in a while you hear about that sort of migratory aspect of it. One of the things that people maybe don't know about the District of Columbia is that in the district's constitution, there's a right to housing. So
A
even
right
if
to
you
housing?
are, yeah, there's a right to housing. It's sort of like, you know, how there's a right to free speech in the US Constitution. One of the clauses in the district's constitution is that you have a right to housing. So um, in DC, essentially, if you are unhoused, you can get housing. And the way that they kind of handle that is they put people in hotels for periods of time, long periods of time, and it's very expensive and it's not super productive in terms of getting these people into long-term stable housing either. That because there's no wraparound service, there's no right to like counseling or education or mental health care or any of that.
They just slap you in a box.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of people don't take it, and a lot of people feel like the shelters, I mean, famously there was the DC General Shelter that was terrible, and people would much rather prefer to be on the streets than be in there.
Right.
So,
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I had some family members that was there. Yeah, let's move on. But I didn't know that PG County only has one men's shelter, which it should be way more than that. So,
I ain't surprised.
but we're talking about the
They probably do that
resources
on
going
purpose.
around. They did
Yeah.
that on purpose, but
Yeah.
resources are already
Brave
low.
boy.
Already low. But let's get to nonprofit scams that's going on and how, God damn it, it's women. Women frauds. Women can screw you over too.
Well, DC Attorney General Brian Schwab is slamming a city nonprofit and its former CEO with a lawsuit which claims they misused grant money. I'm so surprised.
Schwab.
Schwab's office said the anti-violence organization Women in Heels received funding in the 2022 and 2023 fiscal years for violence reduction programs in the Congress Heights neighborhood to support local women and girls. Former CEO Ikea Hardy is accused of diverting $57,302.48 in grant funds from the charity to her personal checking account.
get them
What was she
48 cents,
Yo,
man.
I'm telling you.
Did you not have a treasurer that could have let you know, like basic money transfer? This is very hot in
Was she
Yeah,
driving?
like I work so during the day I work for a nonprofit and that is
Uh-oh.
a crazy no-no. And why would she think? Why would she
because
think?
I think, well, let's keep going. The nonprofit is also accused of failing to return more than $200,000 in unspent money after their grant agreement was terminated, and another $153,500 in funds from 2022 is being sought because, according to the lawsuit, the nonprofit never provided documentation to support the spending of that money. The lawsuit states the charity lost its federal tax exempt status on February 15th. 2023, and has also lost its nonprofit status within the District of Columbia.
That's crazy. I was about to say you're not even a nonprofit. As soon as you said they lost their
They're just a scam. Why is her
it's a
name
scam.
Ikea? Did somebody forget to put her together with the Allen wrench?
Right. Right. They don't even be hitting for good licks, man. Like
Also,
Like,
what about all the
exactly
people
like
they
you
were
want to get
supposed to
caught.
help? Like those
Well,
people still need help.
I think
Yeah.
that there clearly is a system of lacking
Accountability.
oversight in grant dispersal. And I think
So
that
I
because that is widespread, that's why a person would be so bold. You had to have known other people or other nonprofits for you to think that they're not going to catch you. They're going to have like
mm, so I will say that when you're applying for a grant, there's very, very specific rules. There's
I'm talking
certain
about
grants that
afterwards. See,
well,
once all the
but
work
I mean, so we operate on grants and we have to do regular reporting. We have oversight. Like people there, we're constantly in contact with the people that I mean, we're featured in their gala. Like we speak to them on a
you get
regular
grant money
basis. We
from
survey our
DC.
participants.
You get money from DC.
No. These are Virginia.
See, I'm talking about DC, the district government.
Hey, they be
Because
leaving
it's been
doors
too
open.
many times where I've read, and it's funny how they keep on coming back to it's always violence reduction programs. Because the same thing happened with Pizzaholics, and I forget some of the other organizations that was all grouped in with. I forget the name of that pastor over there off of MLK back in like mid 2010s or something like that.
Well, that's also what Trayon was up to when he got busted.
That's true. Well,
isn't that something different? I thought that was about awarding contracts.
No, he was working on. He was awarding contracts to people who were doing violence interruption, and putting his trying to convince the agency to award contracts on this violence interruption to specific people, and they were bribing him to influence the.
Did they do the work?
Did they? I'm sorry.
Did they do the work?
That's unclear, and that is a good question though, because like if what you're doing is bribing to get access and then also accomplishing the goal, is that really, morally?
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that.
But if you're paying to get money and don't do the work, then that means you just steal.
That's a different thing. Yeah. But I can't imagine a situation. Most of the people I know, and I guess we can poll the group here, but most of the people I know who work in nonprofit are not flush with cash. So I can't imagine a situation where a nonprofit has enough money coming in that they can bribe their way to get access to the grants and also still accomplish the mission. But maybe it's possible, but it just doesn't seem likely.
$57,000, and this is
I don't know.
This is to do some violence reduction in Congress Heights. And Congress Heights, that's Iraq. Was it HEELS is women?
Yeah, I don't know what the
acronym is.
I would say that it's worse when you have like outside vultures, like preying on the weak. It should be a special place in hell for people that's use the money.
Dante's Inferno.
And
it stands for healing, elevation, empowerment, love, and support.
Heals.
Yeah, right. Sure.
It should be more like.
I mean, it's just all of it is
hell.
All of it. So maybe she was also one of those people that we don't know about that that got the funding from Trayon, because Congress Heights isn't that Ward 8.
I don't know. Is it?
It all comes
connected dots.
I'm not sure which one.
Let's start putting it together. 2022.
Put that together.
Didn't Trayon get caught in 2024?
You better stop. They gonna knock on your door.
Hey, solve the case.
Hold on.
Making too much sense.
I would like to say Trayon is. I don't know what he's doing with his life, but he's falling off.
So what'd he do? What'd he do?
The dude beat him. It was like a straw poll, and some other dude took his spot. Well, I don't know.
Are you
Mike,
surprised?
I think Mike, would you are you familiar with what's going on with Trayon?
Yeah, so he got ejected from the council, obviously, because he was on video taking a pile of cash.
Right.
And then they held an envelope of cash. They held a primary for his seat, and he didn't run in the primary, but he's still eligible to run for his seat back in the general, which could come up. I mean, and he might win.
He was, as of April 1st, he said he was going to run.
Yeah, he might win. That's the thing. Is
I think he lost some support.
Is still pretty popular.
I think he lost some support.
He's a complicated character because he did this thing. It's very Barry-like. He did.
That's what I'm wondering. Is he Baby Barry?
A little bit. He might.
I like that, Baby Barry.
Comeback
because he called him Barry Barry.
Well, for whatever people say about him
his
being
community all this time, hasn't he been doing a good job?
That's the thing, right?
He's been happy with his work.
Yeah, so people might be critical of him and say that he was corrupt, or that he took this money, or that he wasn't living in the district that he represented, or the ward that he represented. That might all be true, but he was also very effective at representing the people that had elected him. And
Robin Hood me. If you're taking care of my people.
He was And when anything happened, he was the first one there, and he was always a loud, powerful advocate for the people who put him
That's what I
in the
heard.
council. And I think that I don't live in his ward, but I do think that there's quite a lot of people who like Barry have some personal story where something happened and Councilman White showed
They
up.
got him on camera.
Yeah,
That bitch set me up.
exactly. It's very similar.
Speaking of that bitch set me up. Matthew Hightower amidst the murder plot, murder for hire.
Oh my gracious.
But we have.
When are people gonna learn? Like, you're gonna get, like, just watch one episode of First 48. You're going to get caught.
Be more shooters. Doom, 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 doom. All right, we got Amber, Green Eyes journalist. Check her out. And we got voiceover moderator Leslie Olabisi. We have Cool from Explicit Intelligence, and we have Mike from Chip Chat. I'm your host, B More, aka Princess Amunda. We're looking for sponsors. This is the DMV show. You may need us, but we don't need you. Let's go with
How you gonna say we don't need you right after saying we're looking for sponsors?
Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for your support.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Thank you guys for the support.
Chip Chat would like some sponsors, by the way. We do need you. Thank you very much.
We do need we do need donations.
What's up with your man, Cool?
We do need donations.
We'll read anything on air, by the way. Whatever you pay us $5, we'll read it.
As soon as you said it, I was like, "Hey, he did say that."
You pay us $5, we'll read it.
And he said it was so
And
much.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I'll read whatever's on the teleprompter.
You may need us, but we don't need you.
All right, so this is no laughing matter. Before we get fried in the comments, everybody,
fix your face.
Rest in peace to Latrina Ashburn. In Maryland, Matthew Hightower admits to murder plot of Latrina Ashburn. A Baltimore man admitted to orchestrating a murder for hire plot that left an innocent woman dead in a tragic case of mistaken identity. For her neighbor, a federal witness whom Hightower had allegedly conspired to kill to prevent her from testifying against him in 2 federal cases, one for healthcare fraud and another for the murder of David Wuto. Hightower solicited others and conspired to kill Ashburn's neighbor, a female federal witness, in retaliation for providing information to a law enforcement officer, prosecutors said. At the time, Hightower was behind bars awaiting trial. From jail, he used letters and phone calls to coordinate the hit, authorities said. Ashburn, who lived next door to the target and resembled her in age and appearance, was shot and killed outside her home as she tried to get into her car on May 27th of 2016, says officials. Matthew Hightower, 43-year-old motherfucker of Baltimore, pleaded guilty to using a firearm during and in relation to a violent crime resulting in the death of Latrina Ashburn. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Maryland. Loved ones remembered Ashburn in a GoFundMe campaign that was set up for her family following her death.
What kind of movies is this man was watching, y'all?
And that's what I'm saying. What's up with y'all watching these movies?
Just so
thinking you can get away with it.
How did he coordinate it from jail?
Right.
You can read your letters and listen to your phone calls.
You're no Ray Liotta, you idiot. Like,
this is what I mean about oversight.
Well,
when it counts, there is none.
So one of the weird things about my current job is that people from various correctional facilities mail us stuff, and I don't know.
The HVAC?
Huh?
Where? Why?
Mike is a Jamaican.
I'll have to tell you about that all 20 jobs.
But 20 job, man.
Yeah, sometimes it, like the most recent one I got was like addressed to the corporate secretary. It's not a thing. And it was like, I'm interested in investing in your company. Please send me a prospectus. And I don't have the internet, mail it here. And I'm like,
I don't have the internet.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Oh, I thought they were looking for pen pals.
Sometimes they're doing that. But
desperate women.
Send me 5,000 and I'll send you 200,000.
Yes, sometimes it's that. But the thing that is
Send it on my
consistent
send it to
about
Cash App.
every one of
Yo,
Go
these
get some
letters,
gift cards.
Send it to Santander.
Go get some gift cards.
Oh my God. Go get some gift cards.
every one of these letters comes with a big giant stamp on it that says mailed from a correctional facility.
Oh my God.
whoa.
Why
Let
do
me
you
find out. Let me find out. Mike got
They
a pen pal
digging
named Tyrone.
So
about that 500.
I'm wondering how using that
This
kind
is
of
Drew behind bars.
communication you could arrange something like that without it being very obvious what you're doing.
It is
Yeah.
like, okay, so what, you ever see Pineapple Express?
Yeah.
When they're in the back tied up and he's just like, we can hear everything you saying, man. Like,
Yes.
oh my
It's that.
gosh. That's
Obviously, it's
hilarious.
working to sometimes because they're still doing it. You know, you can spend that. That's why I need the money. I'm here temporarily because, and then they can spin a tale about how, you know, they need that money to pay for the retainer because their accounts have been frozen. They just got off the flight in Zurich from Zurich, and you know they
Nah, that
tell
sound
one
like
of
a
the Caroline
Nigerian
Jewelry
inmate.
joints. Exactly, and everybody believes her. So
I mean,
Them
I'm a
zeros
pretty
be
good
tripping,
writer, but
too.
I don't think I could convince somebody in handwritten because you know they don't have computers
you
either,
don't
right?
have
So it's
no
all
game.
handwritten.
Because you don't have
I'm
no
talking
game.
about people with the sweet mouth. You know what I mean? Like the Nigerian, like my fellow Nigerian brothers. They got sweet mouth. They talk you out your drawers, your social security
Tell you
number,
what.
and your
Listen,
Tell you
house
what we do. Tell
I'm
you what we do.
Jamaican, so I already know.
Dang.
I
Hustle
already
harder.
know. You be on a beach cooking brown stew chicken by the end of the night. How did I get here?
So yeah, so basically this guy Hightower, you know, he murdered somebody and he was doing healthcare fraud. Healthcare fraud is quite rampant. It is a very lucrative white collar crime. So he must have killed a witness because if he killed, you got two federal cases running at the same time for healthcare fraud and for the murder of a man. I don't know if this was a former partner, you know, and he just said, you know what, I want all the money.
She was a federal witness.
And she was a federal witness, so
God damn, he
she
was
might have
just
known
going
them
for it.
personally. She
Yeah.
might have seen something outside the
He was
house.
Like, do you
desperate.
think nobody's watching this woman?
Right.
Do you,
Famous,
like,
She's already in witness
But she should
protection.
have been in witness. No, she wasn't in witness protection, and that's the
It was the
fault.
wrong
which is a
person.
problem. That's
That's the
the
fault.
petty.
wrong person, too.
Oh, that's right. That's the whole point. Oh
Oh,
my
right,
goodness.
because it was the
It was the
neighbor. So
wrong
she wasn't
woman.
at home.
Yeah.
No, but still. Okay, so then he's just stupid because
Man,
if you
fry
have a
this
He
federal
Bama.
is. He
No,
picked
witness,
the
no, the
why
wrong
would
guys
you
who
woman.
did the
send?
shooting are stupid. The guy
No,
who
the
Yeah.
one who
instigated it
hired them.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that
because
He
he was
hired-
writing it down from
They're all
jail.
stupid. They got
Yeah.
the wrong apartment, obviously.
Yeah,
They got
he
the
wrote
wrong
it
woman.
wrong.
Describing the lady. He's like, oh
Kingpin
yeah,
in the pen.
she's in her 30s. She drives a black Nissan Altima. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing, you know, and she's got like a kid. And that's like all they had to go on.
And
the
it's
address.
87% of the
Fry them
population.
Bamas.
Yeah.
Fry them. Fry them.
He
Fry
hired some
them.
Timu assassins.
Fry them.
Yeah.
I'm frying them. There's no
I don't
defense
know
to
if
that.
I don't know if a federal. I don't. Yeah,
First of all, you're a
Fry them.
hitman,
a
so
federal witness for murder, I think,
that's
would be in
25
protective
base.
custody.
Fry.
So why would you even send
Fry them.
anybody by their house? That does not make any sense.
I'm thinking lethal injection, maybe.
No,
Not
would do that
even
no more.
lethal
They get the
injection
drugs.
is like go to sleep, relax.
Is
No.
it-
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead. Go ahead
It's
and
still
end it
scary,
quick.
and you're still dying slowly. So I think it's still
Nah,
probably
nah, nah, nah.
terrifying.
Give him a
Put him
lethal.
in a chair. Put him in a chair.
Give him a
But they
lethal
they
injection.
paralyze you first, so you're still conscious, and then you just realize
Nah.
you can't blink anymore. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know how it go.
You
Kill him,
can't
So the
though.
like go
lethal
like this
injection, just so
anymore.
everybody knows, like is almost not happening because they can't get the drugs. The drug makers will not sell that stuff to the prisons to use for
God
death
damn, Mike
penalties.
be on it.
No, then
Yeah,
let's do
like
it.
Mike.
Oh,
Let's
Mike
do
is
a
like,
firing
be on it.
squad.
just
Then
so
I
firing
haven't
you
heard of
squad.
anybody
couple of
dying.
states-
I haven't heard of anybody dying.
A couple
What
of
do y'all
states
think
have
about the death penalty?
a couple of states have gone back to firing squads, and some of
Yeah.
the states have more
Damn.
recently decided they're trying this thing where they use nitrogen asphyxiation.
Ooh.
They're just trying.
Where
shit.
they
Do y'all
they
agree with the death penalty?
no, it doesn't work. Look at people are still
You
out here
know why
murdering
I
each
say
other.
no?
Oh, you
Yeah,
think
point.
you see
He
death
got a
penalty
point, but
as
I
a
want to rock with
deterrent?
it.
I don't think it's an
of,
effective deterrent at all.
I don't think it's supposed to be a deterrent.
I
I think
rock
it's
But
with it.
not only
punishment.
that, how many
Let's be
times do
cool.
they kill somebody by accident?
Right. They
They
get it
find out
wrong.
later
Yeah.
that he didn't do it. And it's
Yeah.
Well,
too
or
late.
let's be
True.
careful what we mean by accident, because this country has a history of putting certain groups of people to death at an
On
incredibly
purpose.
high rate,
On purpose.
Ooh.
and
Clearly.
then saying, "Oh no, he was convicted of whatever."
Exactly. And it doesn't
Cool.
really matter either way
Hold
because,
on,
Oh.
guys. Hold on, guys.
That's
Hold-
why I don't like it.
Hold on.
I'd rather let lots of people go, than kill any innocent.
Do you
folks.
guys have 10 more minutes to do one more, or you guys gotta go?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Huh?
No,
what's
it's a
another
question.
one? What we
It's
doing?
a
Florida
question.
man? What we doing?
We're doing
They smack.
Virginia woman.
stole for the funeral, stole from the funeral funds.
Okay.
Oh.
All
That's
right.
on the
Yeah, I was
collection
interested about
page.
what
Good
happened
now.
here.
That's
Okay,
with the
well-
wet rag one summer.
Well, we're gonna what's the name of
The story?
mistaken identity, Latrina Ashburn. Yeah, her
Yeah.
family set up a GoFundMe campaign. Now this
Wait.
Wait. This is a continuation of the story?
Wait.
I'm trying to
They got
transition.
smacked.
I'm trying. Let
Wait,
me
no.
transition.
She been through enough.
No,
I
no.
can't.
Wait, let's pause and we can wrap up that story, cool, and then we can transition. But we're not gonna play Latrina family like that. You're not getting me fried.
I'm trying to
Okay,
transition.
well, I'm checking.
That ain't how we're gonna transition. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay.
Yo, Katrina, rest in peace, honestly, because it had absolutely nothing to do with her. Absolutely nothing. And it's a travesty. And that's it, and that's all.
And that
Respect
family
to her
got put up some
family.
money that they wasn't even expecting. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Word. Okay.
You can't help yourself.
He's a damn mess, and he knows it.
Okay. So back to VA, where all the crimes really go down.
For lovers.
Apparently, right?
A woman who stole $26,000 that was meant to pay for a funeral was arrested. Wait, arrested in Maryland, but she's from
These
VA.
licks.
Okay. So on November 24th, 2023, the police received a report that Yesenia Elizabeth Amaya, 33 years old, offered to set up a GoFundMe campaign in September 2023 to help raise money for the family of a relative in Arlington who had died. There was a significant community response to this fund, and over $26,000 had been raised. Prior to police notification, it was learned that Amaya withdrew funds from the GoFundMe account and that the funds were not used for their intended purpose, police said in April. Investigators obtained arrest warrants for Amaya, charging her with obtaining money by false pretense, computer fraud, and embezzlement. This is not the first time Amaya has been in trouble over money. In 2011, she pleaded guilty to interstate transportation of stolen property for stealing more than $30,000 in checks from the D.C. Office of the Chief Financial Officer. According to the FBI, how did she get that kind of access?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and she's still on the street doing stuff. She got a problem.
Well, she laid low like you're supposed to, but what you're supposed to go to another state and set up shop.
No, she went 2 blocks over.
You too close in the database. The fingerprints, they don't even have to do a deep search.
It ain't worth it.
Right at the top.
Amaya, is this you again?
Let's go to Mike, Amber, and Les.
Stealing from a funeral fund is just about the worst thing you can do. I mean, there's just, I don't know what to say about that. It seems like every time I'm on the show, we've got something about corrupt funeral stuff. We had the one about the crematorium last time that was like piling up bodies and not taking care of them.
Shout out to
Now we
Heavenly
got these
Bound.
ones about like setting up GoFundMes and robbing them blind.
It's DMV News, man.
Man, you certainly have a particular topic. I don't know what to say about that.
This is what's happening out here in these streets.
Heavenly
Yeah,
Bound.
but look at how now look, let's just say I want to make a point that the people here, we as a society have become a bit more sophisticated. We've gone from literally robbing each other in person to doing it digitally. So, you know, we've leveled up. We're a little more refined. We're a little more, you know, classy as a group.
Classy.
You know, well, it's, you know, it's dirty work robbing somebody. You know,
Yeah.
hey, give me the money. No. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We set up a nice GoFundMe. We make a whole story, and then, you know, we just
That's
take
what
a
I'm
photo at the
saying.
top.
For
And
Uncle
nobody-
Julio.
That's what I think. We've made progress. Hooray, America.
Think I feel
Man.
better if you had a money bag and a black and white striped shirt.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sheesh,
With the little
yeah,
mask
classic,
with the eyes cut out.
classic
Yes,
hamburger.
the shiesty with the eyes.
The hamburger right there. That's the hamburger.
Rubble.
He's yeah, he did make that noise, didn't he? I ain't never understood that. Like, why did he make that noise?
It's
It's McDonald's.
nonsense for a character. It's nonsense.
I got robbed before for a cash app. I paid for some ashtrays. She did a terrible job. She just she put a sticker
Oh
on a
no,
already
not
made
on
ash.
deck, not
Sticker on the
ashtray
part
on
with the
deck to
ash,
show.
girl.
Boy, yeah, I paid $30 for this shit. It's like
Is it
four.
$30.
handmade?
Yeah.
Is it
I went, and
handmade?
then she ain't even send it through the mail. I had to go pick it up. She lived in
Oh.
Baltimore. Yeah, I
Oh.
went out there. I was like, yeah. It's so if you see this still I still kept it, homegirl. You stupid ass shit.
Hey, be more. I think Cool is leaving out a part of this story.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh
Be
no.
more.
No.
I think
He
Cool went
wanted
to Baltimore to get something else and came
ass.
back.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
Came
oh,
back with
No.
an ashtray.
Right.
I swear to goodness. I
It
swear to,
rhymes
hey,
with
Just chilling,
ashtray.
Nora.
no, for real. I
He was
thought
like, man, you
look,
can't leave me with nothing. She was
no,
like,
I swear to
take
God.
this
Here,
ass.
take
She
this.
was on Instagram. She had a
Yeah,
whole
you
page
begging.
full of shit. I thought it was cool. Look, this shit's supposed to glow
Sir,
in the
I don't
dark.
see that Instagram account, sir. I don't see that.
She
I don't
blocked
see
me.
that.
Supposed to
She
glow in the
blocked me.
dark.
She blocked me because I said
She
some shit on
blocked you.
IG, man. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
said
say
some
to
shit on
her?
IG. I be posting shit on IG. People don't like it, man, and they
Oh,
just
she
be
blocked
like,
you off, but just you.
and no, and then
And then she also
came.
went and blocked all of us, so we can't check it either.
Yeah.
And that sounds right. She goes
Hey,
to
you
a
know what?
different
When I
school
get
in
her
Canada.
name,
You don't know her.
when I
Yeah,
get her name,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. I swear to
Okay.
God,
Please,
it's
please
about
show
had-
us.
So is it
Had to been like
handmade?
3 years ago. Had to
Show
been like
us.
3 years ago.
Handmade.
Handmade. She took the sticker and she stuck it in the middle of it with her hand.
She stuck it
That's
right
how
there. She just look. This shit was $30, man. This shit
No,
was
but you're not
crazy.
answering my question. Did she make the actual ashtray?
I
She
don't
poured
think.
some
Well,
resin in
she
a mold,
she did. Yeah, like
but
because you could
it has
tell.
no
It's a nice looking
craftsmanship.
ashtray.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's sharp as fuck. You could kill somebody with this
Oh,
joint.
no.
Every
It looks
edge
like
Exactly.
is.
it
So
got
I
some
work
work
with
to it.
resin. You're supposed to encase something inside of it with the clear resin. You're supposed to layer it, and then at the end you shave off the sharp edges. You polish it. You make a
Yeah,
nice little piece of
yeah. You
art.
could
She
tell.
just
You could
poured the
tell.
resin in the mold just so.
That's
She,
it.
Just
That's
so.
it. It's not even level. It's not even level,
Oh, I
man.
see it. I see it.
I
Yeah.
would.
It's a pretty color. Did it glow in the
It
dark?
is. For when the first day, and then it stopped.
Oh no, she gave you some
Yeah,
Oh, you
Chernobyl.
put just
How it
enough.
glow for a
Chernobyl
second
shit.
and then
and I ain't let it
You
go.
put
And,
just
like
enough glow in the dark stuff
it don't
to
glow
sell it
no
to you
more.
Just
when you
enough.
check it. When when you go like this to
It
see if
don't
it
glow
glows.
no more.
Well, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Back to Yesenia.
All right, yeah.
I
For
would.
the
Go ahead.
for the GoFundMe, like what it's telling me, because I notice a lot of tragic events that's been happening in the hood. We always throwing these GoFundMes out, and it's letting me know that a lot of us need to look into life insurance. This is crazy. We shouldn't have to be
Yeah.
pulling GoFundMes out that we can't reach anyway. You get the life insurance plan, and then you get a check soon
But
as you go down.
can I drop a little bit of not just regular term life insurance, get that whole life.
Permanent
Yes.
policy.
Get that
Yes.
whole life.
You want
I
to know?
have some whole life. My policy, as long as I keep on paying it within my 20-year period, I cash out and I also get almost like 50% interest on top of it.
Message.
And
And
you can
also
borrow
pay
against it
attention,
for
make
your
sure
life.
you-
It's whole life banking.
and make sure you don't have a policy that's too variable where the fees end up sort of eating that principal as time goes on, because then you'll have to reconvert it. There was a brief time on our show in between co-hosts that I had a co-host, his name is Culture, and he basically decided that one of the things that white folks in this country did that black folks weren't doing was life insurance. And So he went and got himself licensed as an agent and became, pretty knowledgeable in this because he was going to use the system that was set up specifically for one group as a way to like gain generational wealth for the group that it was meant to exclude and turn it on itself. And he was very successful at this. I mean, obviously, we'll have to wait 2 or 3 generations to see it, but he got a lot of people enrolled, and he was approaching it from that point of view. It's like, if you die when you're old and your kids are already like in good shape, they don't really need that money when you die, right? So then they can reinvest that in their kids, and hopefully after 2 or 3 cycles of that, you guys are all just sitting on a pile of money that nobody exactly needs, but that they can definitely make grow. And that's the way that he approached it. And I gotta say, it's a very compelling argument. So Cool's absolutely on it. We gotta tell people, get out there, get that insurance. And it's not that expensive if you get a decent enough policy.
Yeah.
I love that story. I love that
I
story.
mean, mine's a small bill that I pay every month, but it's worth it.
Well, what
100%.
we agreed, Cool, life insurance, yes. But what we also need to tell people is stop stealing from your family members. She set that account up
True.
for her family.
True.
And then she didn't just, let me just take a $3,000, let me take a percentage administrative fee. And I'm surprised you didn't say Ice Baby on that one, Cool, because
it was y'all, the vibes,
Arlington.
I was.
He threw a lob.
I would say that you better go. I would say it's the family fault because they already knew Yesenia already had a history, so they should have knew once
Yesenia should have been nowhere near the money.
Once she put her hand in the air and say that, let me take care of the money, they should have known something was up. Every week it was something else. So what's up with the money, Yesenia?
Right.
You know how Uncle Julio wanted to have a lawnmower? I got that for him.
Right. A gold one. A gold one.
And what probably happened is that her family, this is now
nothing but the best
speculation, but her family probably are not native English speakers. They're not computer literate. That's why they asked her to do it in the first place.
Well, Ice Baby.
She probably lied to everybody and said the last stuff was a lie.
Get on out of here.
Because she lives in Maryland and they live in Virginia. She don't never go see because people in Maryland, we don't go to Virginia. Well, I mean, I know I'm in DC now, but we don't go to Virginia.
This is very controversial, but there's a difference between the Latinos in Virginia and the Latinos in Maryland.
They're very much. How do you know that? What the hell are you basing that on?
I know both sides. I know.
Which one is the States. Are you talking about? Hold on.
The Virginia ones are much shorter, but they're much nicer.
What are you even saying?
They're more humble.
Right now? Well, there goes any possibility of a sponsor.
We're gonna get Tito's Tacos as our sponsor. This heat will make you realize what you're going outside for was it really worth it?
Is it really worth it?
Nah. You gotta think.
It has you double checking what you got in the house that you could make work.
Putting a bowl of ice. Putting a bowl of ice in front of the fan don't work.
Ooh.
It definitely
you get that extra cool breeze.
It don't work.
Have you ever tried to light your fart too, Cool?
No, I thought about it though.
Say what?
I don't think my fart got length like that.
They did it on South Park.
Hey, they did it in other places too, different shows and shit. She did the
nasty
Kill Kenny
word.
And they killed Kenny. They said Carmen said his fart on fire, and it would be like sparks of fire.
I wonder what it smelled
like. That's what it seems like is now. Yeah. Yo, I hope you got some AC at the crib, some cat in the bed, and some cash in your pocket. What more can be said? It's another episode of The Lord Show, Ish Talk TV, DMV News, doing it how it's supposed to be. I'm your host, B More, aka Princess Amunda. I got Mike from Chip Chat, and I got Green Eyes, the journalist, Ambre Tomlinson. And I got my man Cool from Explicit Intelligence, and I got the best voiceover actress that ever lived in this universe or in this hemisphere, something like that. Leslie or that BC, y'all, what's going on with this heat? Do y'all have some AC?
Yes,
yeah.
thank God.
I got the struggle AC.
Oh,
I
I
ain't
don't
gonna
have
lie.
central air. My house was probably built in 1942 or something. So I have
Jeez.
one air unit, and when it gets a certain
Ooh.
temperature outside, that jump you got to sit right in front of it.
Ooh.
So I'd be
You
like,
got the box jump at the window jump.
yeah. So I just
Man.
take off all my clothes and just lay real still, like.
Yeah, take them cold showers be hitting, don't they?
every so often you gotta get up and put your head in the freezer.
That's
Ooh,
it.
I
That's
did that.
it. Yep.
I do that. I do
Mike,
that.
Mike, I know you have a struggle story.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
I know you had a
AC
couple of heat strokes or something like that.
professional. I mean, one of the things to let everybody know is that when it's hot outside, it's even hotter where your unit is. So if you call us out and we got to get up in your attic to fix something, it can be 130 degrees in there.
Yeah.
And so we can only work at like 15-minute intervals, and we got to come out and stop. And then sometimes, like, you have to be up on a roof, and there's two bad kinds of roofs. One is the black tar roof because it's really, really hot. It's like 30 degrees hotter up there. And then the other is the white TPO roof because it is so reflective that even if you're wearing sunglasses, you just got glare in your eyes. You can't really see very well. And it's very miserable. So
bless your heart. Do your customers give you cold bottles of water? That's what
sometimes. I mean, it depends what you're working on, whether people like even, respect that you're there and helping them, or sometimes they're mad. Like you get there faster.
They mad because it's hot. What do you call mad when if you angry because you hungry and that's hangry? What do we call angry because you hot?
Hot green.
Yeah.
What is
pissed off?
Hot
green.
I say
intemperate.
Hungry. I don't know.
Fuck that. Don't give me no water. Give me another set of clothes.
That's another thing. Also, like,
true.
Sometimes over the years, like, I've had uniforms that are made like they're dark navy blue, or and they're made of like something that doesn't breathe. So we usually, like, once we get up on the roof and people can't see us, we just ditch that and work in our t-shirts and stuff.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna say that navy blue, nobody see your pain. You be sweating, nobody see it. Nobody see it.
Yeah, that's
they think
true.
You're fine. No water.
Dang.
There's nothing holds heat like those like unbreathable dark color fabrics are like invented by sadists. They're awful.
Like that hard dicky fabric. Like
that stuff.
Ew, yeah. Oh,
you gonna earn this
God.
$85 an hour. You getting plus $100 for over.
No. That's what you're paying the company. They're paying us 25.
I was about to say, Mike, you got a boat?
You got acres, Mike?
Like $85 an hour.
Mike got acres.
You got a boat?
Hey, Chip, you supposed to be getting about 85, 100,
when I was
$110 an hour.
Now, granted, look, when I was in a service truck, it was a pretty good long time ago because I've been, in the management office for a while now. But I think in the middle of the summers when I was running 12-hour days, I think I was making like about 32 an hour at that time. At overtime rate. That was the overtime rate. So I mean, it wasn't too bad.
Hold on. So where you be?
Like now?
Where do you service?
What
neighborhoods?
Oh, well, no, I was everywhere.
You was at Hillcrest?
I was on call. I had all of Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia, as far down as like Fredericksburg. I had to go.
All right, well, you gotta check out those people at the Elms of Laurel Park because they haven't had any AC in 2 motherfucking weeks when you need it the most in fourth quarter. They tried to get the rental office, the news tried to get the rental office to talk. They said no comment. And
no comment.
This people has a history of just ACs going in and out.
Didn't we talk about them earlier this year?
I don't think so. But can you imagine just waking up to sweat every day?
Yeah.
And
Every day of my life.
Yesterday, that was yesterday. Yes.
they
Caught me slipping.
and then they put in these people in hotels. I don't.
For
How's
free?
that going?
Wait, do they
Yeah, for
have
free.
central air?
I'm good.
But okay, but if the
Yeah.
building
Also,
if the building is broke down like that and doesn't have air,
they're putting
what type of hotels do you put me in?
The
well, it's probably
finest
gonna
of
be
hotels,
The
goddamn.
Hojo,
the
I want the
Exactly,
finest.
the
finest.
The
the
Hojo.
Red
finest.
Roof Inn.
Hey, look,
Yes.
I tell you what, if I'm on time with my payments, you better put me at the Marriott next to the MGM, wherever, somewhere
You
real nice,
wish.
damn it.
You
If my AC
wish
not working, I'm not gonna be on time with my payments.
at all. At
Be
all.
careful with
True.
that.
Paying
Depends
to
what state
so
you're
gotta
in,
pay
whether
into
that's a
the
good move
escrow.
or not.
You need to pay into escrow. You just put it to the
Yeah.
side. Don't
Be
like
careful.
spend it
Glenarden
and then
Apartments.
not have it. Don't do the Glenarden Jones.
See what I'm
Just be
saying?
hoping that you're gonna slide through court.
Yeah.
And
Court
then
ain't
you
having
miss a
that.
court date, and then you get a default judgment entered against you, and
Yeah.
then you out.
Denied. God damn it.
Yeah, don't withhold payment in Virginia. I can tell you that.
Why?
You cannot withhold payment for any reason in Virginia.
What
They
if?
say
Well, hold on,
one
sir.
island.
But what if?
For any reason.
So what if they're
Uh,
not licensed?
Oh, well, if you don't have a lease, that's a whole different thing.
Wake up.
But if like, let's say the company is not providing you safe living condition because it's like, you know, a billion degrees and you don't have AC. You need to go to court and get an escrow set up to where they can see that you're still putting the money in, because if you just withhold payment, they will find against you immediately.
I think that's technically what you're supposed to do, no matter where you are. For real,
It's fair.
for real. You
It does
supposed to
depend
just
by
go
the
to
state.
court.
Let the
I mean,
judge know. Hey, I was paying.
That's the
You still
smartest.
tripping.
That's the smartest and the safest thing, because I have been to the court before, so I've listened to the judge, and yeah, it's better for you to just go ahead. Don't try to skate out of it. It's tempting. I know they're not doing what they're supposed to do, so I'm not gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But you still sleeping in there every night. So.
Right.
Everyone, tell the people where they can reach you. This is DMV News. Let's go to Amber.
Oh, so you can reach me on IG. It is MISS Green EYEZ. So Miss Green Eyes, all one word on IG.
And
Next.
you was on the show when I said I will vote for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Mike.
I was.
Mike.
You can check us out. We'll be on tomorrow. It's Thursday, so we'll be on at 9:30 on Beltway Radio and Beyond, or you can catch us on Facebook or Instagram at Rip Chip Chat. You can find me on Blue Sky at Chef Chip. You can find the show on the Twitter at Chip Chat RR. You can find us live on YouTube tomorrow at 9:30. We're everywhere. Our guest tomorrow is Laura Thompson Osuri. She's the director of Homes Not Borders. They are an organization that helps resettle refugees who have come to the United States, which is a very hot topic right now. So we're very excited to talk to her. And she's also one of the co-founders of the Street Sense newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Don't send them to the enclave, all right? Don't send them to the enclave.
Don't send them to the enclave.
Don't send them to the enclave, fam.
Cool said, yeah, go ahead and send them to the enclave. And not to these new buildings where they sitting there counting the checks and making videos about how they make niggas get free money. That's what Cool said. In my mind, that's what Cool said. In my mind.
I said it.
In my mind, that's what he said.
They're going to kill me, man.
Anyway,
man, hey, Mr. Cool on IG, I don't even know if y'all should go to that page because I'm all banged up. So look, just go to my I don't know, man. Look, go to my YouTube, Explicit Intelligence, and look at the archive. I plan to come back. I'm chilling right now, man. I'm enjoying this heat. Psych.
Stay balling. Leslie.
Love Studios, LOV Studios. Please subscribe on YouTube. And my name is Leslie Ola BC. Everywhere on the internet, just type it into Google.
Gemini season.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what I want people to do? Because I have like 4 TikTok followers. I finally joined TikTok.
Nice.
So Love Studios 2. So can y'all please follow me because we can't go live. I can't go live until I get some so we can do this
No,
podcast.
you
I
gotta
can't
do a
go
30-minute
We
live.
should christen your joint. We should
until I
christen your
get
TikTok.
50 until I get 50 followers. I got like
Hold up.
8 or
What's
something.
We all
you need-
we all need to put our shit together.
Yes.
I'm your host,
Like
D
Mighty
Mar,
Morphin
aka
Power
Princess
Rangers.
Amanda. Yeah.
Air,
Mike can be
earth,
the Jamaican one with the 20
water.
jobs.
What did you say? Oh,
Captain Planet, Amber. That was my jam.
I know. Right? I was like, you heard me.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Ish
great.
Talk TV, DMV News. Stay black.
The money in that way, that's it talk.